It is the latest development in a long battle on Bill 124. The Ford government is now fighting public sector workers in court to uphold its controversial wage restraint law. If they lose, they'll be on the hook for billions of dollars in back pay. Union leaders are calling the appeal a waste of taxpayer money and say they won't give up until they win.
Workers are saying enough is enough.
Union leaders stood side by side in a strong show of solidarity outside Osgoode Hall, where the Ford government is appealing a court ruling to kill Bill 124.
Today, the Ford government is slapping these frontline workers in the face yet again by appealing the court's decision to strike down Bill 124.
Since 2019, Bill 124 has capped wage increases at 1% annually for an estimated 780,000 public sector workers, including in hospitals and schools.
They were the frontline heroes of the pandemic, and now they can't make ends meet. It's been devastating for them in the midst of a cost of living crisis.
In November, a Superior Court justice called the law unconstitutional. In his damning ruling, he wrote Ontario was not facing a financial situation that justified an infringement of charter rights.
We know Bill 124 was never about ensuring a government spent responsibly. Bill 124 was always an attack on our public servants.
The law has long been blamed for exacerbating the healthcare crisis and worsening widespread staffing shortages inside hospitals and across the public sector workforce.
We are overworked, overwhelmed, and vastly underpaid.
Emergency rooms in this province are closing because we cannot retain those workers. Because this government has disrespected them, this government has underpaid them, and it has been a deep disservice to all Ontarians. This government knows what they've created, the mess that they've created, and they should just back off right now.
The Premier was asked repeatedly today why his government is appealing the decision.
Let's just see what happens. I don't want to comment since it's in front of the courts. But our whole goal with Bill 124, I have to make sure that we respect the taxpayers, making sure that we're prudent fiscal managers of the taxpayers' money.
This is so incredibly classic for the Ford government style of economics, where they're unbelievably penny wise and pound foolish. They'll save a couple pennies now, they think, and then pay tons more afterwards.
The province's fiscal watchdog says the government will owe public sector workers $8.4 billion over 5 years if the law remains overturned. They've already paid $1 billion to workers like nurses who have reopened contracts in the wake of the ruling.
And at the end of the day, he can try and delay as much as he likes. But the Premier will have to pay the piper. He will have to pay workers what he stole from them and their communities.
The province has argued the legislation didn't violate the charter because it is time limited. They also argue the law doesn't interfere with the collective rights to free and fair bargaining. They will be in court until Friday. For City News, I'm Tina Yazdani.